some pants.
They did the step and pee.
You stepped in the pee.
You stepped in the pee.
Okay. We're live.
What? We're live.
We're live.
Oh.
We're alive.
Well, half alive. Oh. Oh.
Okay. Can we move your work laptop?
Nope.
Hello, everyone. I'm Benzie.
I'm Devin.
And tonight is a very intimate episode of Holler Horror Hour. We are going to be mukbanging.
Why are you talking that way?
It's YouTuber talk. I don't know. It's intro talk.
Okay.
I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just having fun. And talking about weapons.
Not like swords and swords. I don't know why I needed my hand to be in that. Not like swords and grenades,
but children.
Nuclear weapons. Yes, the movie Weapons by Zach Krieger that came out earlier this year. Well, a couple months ago.
Yeah. Also, it's October, so hopefully we'll watch a lot more horror movies than normal.
Oh, yeah. We need to make it a point to do that.
Yeah, we need to make it a point. We watched it twice.
Yeah, we had a bit of an emotional roller coaster watching it because hang on, wait. Oh, that's mine.
They're exactly the same.
No, they're not. I salted my fries.
Ew.
You.
Don't kick around the kid.
Well, maybe you should center it on the very obvious couch.
Maybe.
Oh, you're the fucking camera expert.
I'm the camera expert.
Can't tell where the couch is. Anyway, yeah, we had an emotional roller coaster watching it. Generally, we felt good about it going in. Very let down at the end, and then decided we needed to rewatch to kind of figure out our feelings based on expectations.
Yeah, because something that really affected me is Barbarian. When we watched that movie, I was literally like jumping and running around the house like this is the best horror movie I've seen in a very long time. I loved it. So when I saw that another movie, I did have really high expectations.
And when Justin Long showed up, I was like, oh, this is going to be the greatest movie ever.
I actually did have the thought. I was like, oh, Justin Long is only making a cameo. I don't know if it's going to be that good.
Yeah, like, you just bring it up a little bit.
Because if it was a really good movie, he would have made more than a cameo.
Oh, you think?
Pardon me.
Yeah, my experience was like, I saw the trailer and figured it was just going to be a ridiculous junk throwaway horror movie with, children going crazy and killing adults and shit. So when I heard it was like, oh, this great movie, we had to, okay. But then like, when it started up, I was into it. I was into it for the first portion of the movie, and then I just felt really let down when it ended. Like, so that's where all of this stuff that had me so invested, that's how you wrapped it up. So I was glad that we watched it a second time, so I wasn't just left feeling, disappointed and just feeling like, yeah, okay, it was good. Had a lot of good setup that I wish they'd have done more with.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to be like, I don't like this movie, because while watching it, I enjoyed it the entire time. There is a lot of good to it, but when I finish it, I don't feel like I would recommend it to anybody or anything.
I think like all the characters in it are very well crafted too, and their stories in and of themselves are like interesting slices of life. Like, did a lot of Reddit research or to like figure out like what did everybody else think about this, and just came across that like Krieger was very inspired by like addiction when making this movie. So like that made a lot of sense with the movie, where all the stories seem to have something to do with like addiction in some way, shape, or form. So, individually they all kind of seemed really good, and even some of the ways that they interacted with each other were good around that. It just felt like some of the nuts and bolts of like storytelling, like your climax, your villain, your protagonists, etc., like those just kind of just didn't get the attention in bringing them together that they needed, I felt, and it bugged me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we both had the same take that like Gladys felt very underdeveloped and like almost like an afterthought.
Which, in an interview with Krieger, he said like the beginning part was this like idea he had, and he had no clue what the answer was till he was like halfway done with the script. So Gladys kind of was an afterthought. And then hearing that they're making a Gladys prequel, which I actually am looking forward to, but it did make me think, like, was this one of those, like, creative, like, I have this experience a lot, where I'm working on a creative project and then I come up with a new idea, and then I'm mostly actually just excited about the new idea, but I have to finish the old thing. And that's, like, he came up with this new Gladys idea and then was just excited, like, had to finish this movie he was already making.
Yeah, it could be. I think apart from that, there are some things about it that felt like, a bit of a stretch, that really only present themselves as like errors or like bits that break my suspension of disbelief, because I feel inclined to like think more about the movie and put it under a magnifying glass that I would have overlooked. Like, I did have the initial thought when all the children are running off and like doorknob cameras, security alarms actually went off, like when the children just went out. And I realized I found it very hard to believe that nobody saw anything at all going on with these children.
Oh, and that reminds me to remind you, if you've made it this far, but this is a full spoiler podcast. This is for people. Oh my god, there's a bug crawling on the floor.
Boy, that's
a big one.
Creepy one too.
I hate it. Will you please get it? It's going right into my laundry. Don't put it on me, baby.
I'm gonna pet your butt.
Devin, save me.
There. If he's still alive, he ain't happy. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, spoilers. What else?
Yeah, this podcast is made for people who have already seen the movie.
Oh yeah, but we're not going to recite the movie as a lot of AI content does.
Maybe we are AI. Maybe this is just an ad for Kane's Chicken.
I mean, we didn't even show what we were eating.
It's so iconic.
I feel like we'd mention it more.
The delicious sauce.
The perfectly crafted fries. Yeah, anyway,
Well, what made me say that is because I was thinking before the reveal, like some of the moments, like the kid's mom, like creeping out and cutting her hair.
Yeah.
Perfect moment.
Oh, yeah.
Even her like looking through the blinds and seeing them sitting on the couch like that.
Yeah, there was so much about it that was like very. I don't know, just.
What?
While trying to reconnect. Oh. Yeah. Some very good, very, very creepy moments that I felt like worked, and like I didn't initially feel inclined to like question them because it's like, oh, well, it's in the movie and I'm fucking gripped right now. So like, but then in hindsight, even like that bit, like it both resonated with me, and you pointed out like kind of a flaw in like the way it was executed, where they stole a bit of hair instead of just stealing a personal item and making her
a slave.
Yeah, making her a zombie, and then just send her off as a weapon to do whatever, just make her disappear altogether. And I think most people probably would have just turned on her. The whole town was against her anyway. So like,
yeah.
What would it matter, So yeah, that was a bit of a logical thing, but it's so mixed because it's like the way that scene goes down is such a creepy bit with this fucking witch zombie fucking Zoidberging over to her with this pair of scissors, and she doesn't fucking notice a single thing because she is absolutely passed out, hammered.
Yeah.
And it very much was like, yeah,
this person's an alcoholic.
Yeah, it was a very good take on how like aggressively into, like, she kind of reminded me of some people I know, where she's like so hell bent on proving that she's right when she thinks she's got a point. At the same time, like, she just can't resist like the alcohol, which puts her, ultimately like puts her on the right track, but in a bad position where she's not up to like, she's not aware of the danger she's in.
Mm-hmm.
That was a funky scene. Even like James, is that his name?
Yeah.
The meth head's name or whatever he is. Like, his was like a great slice of life bit where it's like, this is like, the whole time I was watching him like rob the house with like these creepy, sketchy noises. Even like the parent zombied out. Like, a logical person would have looked at that and said like, nah, this is not the place. We need to dip. Like, too many red flags here. But he's just like so into it. He's just fucking like stealing shit. Even like when he gets spotted, he's still like fucking trying to grab shit to fill his bag and get out.
Yeah.
I was like,
he's such a good character.
I know. But like, he's another one where I think he's a great character, but he's a character I probably would have cut from the movie, honestly, because I don't feel like he really like contributes enough to the film as a whole, or as I alluded to earlier, the nuts and bolts of like crafting a story to where I'd keep him. I'd keep him. I guess it's not. You're right. I wouldn't cut him, but like I think some more work was needed to make him a part of the story, or like not make him feel like I just watched his bit for the 20 odd minutes just to get a slice of life in the world of a druggie.
I do feel like all his scenes are really good though. Like even when he is a zombie and he keeps like coming back over and over again, like that's one of the funniest parts of the whole movie.
When fucking Archer just completely decks him, just gets back over again, or just knocks him out again, and he gets back up. I thought it was like a good take too on like what it's like to fight
somebody fucked up.
Not just somebody, somebody fucked up. That's a good point. But also like somebody who has no sense of like to put it in D&D terms, no sense of like constitution. Like their constitution is taken off the table because like it doesn't apply to them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a machine at that point,
Yeah, I mean,
a weapon, if you will.
On the addiction analogy, I mean, I think it kind of showed like, sorry, the eating. He was kind of a like zombie / slave for the drug even before that,
Mm-hmm.
So his like position didn't change very much.
Yeah.
And cop guy, what's his name?
Paul, I think.
Paul. He's throwing away his life with a wife and trying to have kids and like.
Well, I think that was another bit that I thought was like interesting because you could tell I guess what I took away from his bit is that he wasn't into the wife. Or like there were problems that were not addressed within the course of his story. I got a sense that he's more like trapped in a position that he doesn't really want to be in, getting like the good life that he doesn't really want, but he doesn't see any way to like swerve out of the lane that he's in.
Yeah.
Because even like when he's talking to his wife, like you can kind of tell that he's not interested in like making a baby. He is not interested in like interacting with her around that. He seems just kind of lackadaisical. It seems like, and I guess it kind of gave me a sense that like he's kind of aggressively a police officer the way he is, partially because he's he's got a lot of baggage inside of him that he can't get out, and he's trapped.
Yeah. This is the first time I've thought of this, but there's kind of an idea too of his wife, because they're clearly not compatible. They don't want the same things or whatever, where maybe her thing is that she like wants this life so bad she doesn't care who the person is that fills the role, if that makes sense. Well,
yeah, and I think that because I think the other interesting side of that is she was absolutely clueless to like how checked out of like baby making he was. Like,
yeah, she's like, I know you're excited for this.
Yeah,
but she's kind of just creating her own reality, is how I saw it. Like,
which you could also see that as a reason why, like, they're not. You can tell from the outside that they're not clicking, and you can see that that's why she doesn't. She is not picking up that he's not into it, and he is just not into it for whatever reasons he has. We don't really find out what all it is.
Yeah.
That's partially why, like, when we first watched it, you picked up that, like, she said go to a meeting, and that means he's an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
He's an alcoholic, like, what's her face? Blondie.
Main character.
I've heard she has very golden retriever
Which was also
energy.
so funny that she's the main character of the last movie we watched.
Yeah, the Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just a funny coincidence. She's a good actress, though. Like, I'll give her, gotta give her credit for that. She did good in both.
I mean, 2 horror movies right in a row, and Weapons is a major horror production, I feel like. I wonder if she's going to be like a face we're going to see more often.
Yeah. I mean, so far I got no complaints. Like, hopefully. But
I don't like her haircut, but
you and girls with short hair, blah blah blah. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt about the meetings that like maybe he's not an alcoholic, he's just an alcoholic by wife's standards because wife just seems checked out on him or not. Doesn't seem like she's picking up any of like his lack of emotion to put it specifically.
One thing his story reminded me of is my late lover who died from addiction. Would say sometimes he was scared if he stopped, he would become boring. And that idea of like, yeah, the life, like Paul's sober life, wasn't fulfilling him. So he didn't have like a huge reason to stay in it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, I mean, maybe there are bits in there that's why he can't shake main protagonist lady, because like he has fun with her and she actually like sparks something in him that's like fun to be around. And maybe for him like he didn't quit seeing her because he didn't like her. He quit seeing her because she's not trying to change being an alcoholic, and he is, and just decided like that's not good for me and I need to stop that.
When I wonder what his plan was, because he said he wasn't with his wife anymore. He like lied about that.
Yeah.
And was sitting with her, but then it's still like, but I'm not gonna drink. But why would he lie to her about his wife's situation if he wasn't planning to like hook up with her?
Well, maybe he wanted to hook up with her. He just didn't want
sober and her drunk.
Well, I don't think he had much of a plan in that regard.
Yeah. But
also, like, it is like I almost wish they would have like replayed that scene from his perspective, but I mean, it's better that they didn't, because sometimes I get annoyed by that. Like, we just saw this, you didn't change anything. Why'd you do this? But like, it is interesting that scene takes place right after he has his run-in with James, and like just is not having a
bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it kind of makes sense that he's seeking out something to like make himself feel better, and he very likely did not plan like what he's gonna do. Even the bit like that even made me realize that like there's a bit there where the wife suggested that he go to a meeting, and instead of going to a meeting, he sought out her.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, and that Halt and Catch Fire guy is the sheriff. That was fun. I always love seeing him and stuff.
Yeah, he was good as like the chief.
I mean, he's good at being like a serious Southern man. That's like his thing he does. So. Oh,
and then we should probably talk about Archer and Gladys and Alex.
Is Alex the main character's name?
Alex is
The little boy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I was so sad to read the script of how Alex was originally got the Valentine's Day cards and wasn't involved in getting his classmates zoinked. I did like the script I read better than what happened in the movie.
Yeah. I think that would have been a lot better. Like, I don't know, just he's not complicit or being bribed or anything. And I think especially given the scene where he's like stealing their name tags, just seems like somebody would have noticed that the name tags got stolen.
I mean, I could see that getting noticed. I kind of disagree on that point, but
I feel like the kids probably would have noticed, like, wait, where's my name tag? And made somebody in that class, I feel like, would have made a thing out of it. Like, I don't know, kids can be careless, but at the same time, they can also like nitpick over some bullshit, you know?
I guess I just imagine a lot of people are on autopilot, which I think is a theme in the movie on its own.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Alex's parents stabbing themselves in the face with the forks. Great scene.
Yeah.
Horrible scene, great scene.
I think that's also something that I really liked about for what we were given, because like she really is just a despicable, strange lady, you know? Like she doesn't spend much time negotiating with Alex. She goes to that like pretty quickly, just to like, all right, now I've made my point and now I have your attention. Like, no negotiating, no warning you, no, just like, okay, you've disobeyed me, so now this. Yeah. Now you understand.
I really think one of the most horrific things in the movie is Alex having to feed everybody that soup. Like, that seems so awful for every person involved.
Goddamn, he gets home and like the only thing he has to do is, or like the only thing he's gonna have time to do is like feed everybody fucking soup.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. I did really like the bit. I'm sure other people have commented on this, but like I did really love the bit where Gladys looked hurt when he asked if she would leave.
I know, that was so funny.
It just seemed like such a like
so like out of touch.
It did seem like a very like Pennywise like kind of thing where it's like she's kind of just a monster doing what monsters do, and she doesn't get it that like, no, you're not. No, we're not best friends. Goddamn! Like, what do you mean? Yes, I hate you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I have seen theories that she's like a Pennywise creature. Which I do think it would be. I would love to see Halloween costume of like Pennywise and Gladys together.
I mean, she even wears like fucking clown makeup.
Yeah. She is very fashionable.
If you say so.
I really enjoy the like, even if things are weird, like people don't really know what to do, like her going into the principal's house and being like, I'm peculiar. I need my water in a bowl, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a way you're kind of like, I guess? Like,
well,
because who thinks it's a witch?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't until it's too late. I guess one thing that did bother me though, that like I let go because like I could see it happening, was like letting her in the house. It's like, no, don't override me here. You don't know who this lady is.
Well,
like,
we saw the principal be a pushover in multiple scenes, so I think that's like in character.
Like I said it's believable in many scenarios. Oh. So you didn't.
Sorry, I didn't listen to you correctly.
You just don't need to correct me, because I said
I apologize.
I said it's overall believable, but like, yeah, it did bug me that like the principal's like, no, you can't be here. You need to get lost. Like, you're it's absolutely not okay for you to be here. And his husband just comes over and is like, oh my God, you come right inside right now.
The principal and his husband were the saddest characters, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. And because they were so like, that principal too was like, I think one of the few reasonable characters in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I think everybody's attributing like an addiction to food to him, which like, you know,
he wasn't like severely obese or anything.
Maybe. I think at that point though, then like you're not just talking about addiction, you're almost talking about like 7 deadly sins type shit. And that almost, I don't know, maybe that there was that idea in there to do that, and not just like we're eating snacks, we're hanging out. His husband wasn't like you know, overweight or obese or anything, you know.
Yeah.
So like that just seems like oh, everything's got to have like a meticulously planned out reason to me. To me, it just seems like they were, you know, they were a lovely couple, and he was like the only fucking reasonable person in this, like trying to point out like unreasonable behavior and keep things like, well, follow the rules.
One thing I'm thinking about is something Dr. Honda says a lot about like narcissists is they're not actually, and like psychopaths, that they're not actually good at their scheming, you know? And it makes me think of Gladys, like that she didn't take the personal item from the main character and stuff. Like, she could have gotten away with this for way longer. She made some weird...
Well...
sending the principal to publicly go after her and stuff was like...
Yeah, it was a very, like... It seemed like a very strangely aggressive move, considering how the whole rest of the movie she was trying to be so what's the word for like inconspicuous. She was trying to be so inconspicuous. Even her makeup too was kind of a strange choice for someone trying to be inconspicuous.
Yeah.
1 second.
You getting a work call?
No.
Is that your orange trees alarm?
Maybe. I'm gonna ignore it.
You don't know how to ignore stuff.
That does lead to another bit. Speaking of snatching like personal items, turning Archer into a zombie at the end. That one was like that whole scene with Archer going down into the basement in the dark and like rummaging around through all the children with his phone light, and Gladys
That
just
really
fucking
was like
popping out.
I mean, it was a good jump scare, but
it was a good jump scare that I admittedly wasn't expecting, and I don't know why. But the whole thing was just like, okay, now we're just turning everybody's brains off unreasonably. Like, who in their goddamn right mind would think, I'm gonna flip on my cell phone camera and not flip the fucking light switch to the basement?
yeah.
Like,
but also, what does she need to do the spell? Because she was just like down there and grabbed him and...
Yeah, she grabbed him, put that personal item on a fucking rose branch, and dropped some blood in the span of with what more of what's her face's hairs, all in the span of like the couple seconds that she would have had before that man who would fucking beat that old lady within an inch of her life. Like,
yeah, and because we saw with the kids items she had to do like looks like there is steps beyond just setting it in the water. It doesn't work automatically. And also with the principal, she like meticulously did stuff with his ribbons. She didn't just like put it in a bowl and be like, now it works. Like, yeah,
she had to wrap it around the rose bush or the rose branch or whatever that tree was. Then she had to, I mean, she seemed like she's got like good sleight of hand skills, since we've already referenced D&D, you know, max that skill out. But even with that, like, from what we saw, even if she was like trying to speed run it, I found it very hard to believe that she could pull off that spell in the amount of time that she would have needed for before Archer like just fucking blasted her.
The scene where Alex is running through the loop with his parents trying to kill him, like that scene, I feel like is really good.
Oh yeah, that scene was great.
Yeah,
it was pretty great. I really loved the scene. I really loved that whole sequence where Alex fucking jukes his parents, gets around them, gets what he needs out of Gladys's room, sneaks back into like his room or the other room, and pulls the spell off that she's just been doing right in front of him the whole time. And like turns all the kids on her. That was pretty good. Watching all the kids run after her with this old lady was pretty amusing
my God,
too.
that was great. And yeah, and reading stuff about how much the kids enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, I bet.
The only thing like I did question, which I guess I don't know what she should have done, could have done, but I was like, she knows how this spell works, and like, does she really think running she's gonna be able to like get away?
Yeah, that was sort of my thought too. But I also had the thought of like, well, like even like you're an old lady, you think you're gonna outrun these things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but it's also like, well, what else is she gonna do if all her power comes from like the rose bush and everything, and she doesn't have a like, you know, break in case of spell getting turned on me, like you know, what else does she do in that case? I guess
there is part of me that thinks like I really wish this was the pilot episode of a mini series or a show.
I don't know, like making the movie a pilot, but like maybe like if the first episode, maybe if it was like a even a 3-episode mini series to flush out the characters a bit more and make it a bit more intertwined. I think I would have also made some tweaks to like tie in Paul a bit more to the main story somehow. Just because like he's a police officer, and like I guess it has more to do with I wish I would have seen more parents looking at this, or more of a perspective from the police that's like looking at, you know, the case of the missing children, and less like the guy who's kind of just you know, just has a fling with the main protagonist, you know.
Oh my God, when Justin Long's wife was like, you can't see the video, and then he just waits for him to come home, and then they're sitting there doing the video, like...
Yeah, he full on just like, I'm gonna get him to... I did think it was interesting that, like, you know, you kind of see a lot of like the toxic masculinity there that he has. Like, you know, his son's is like a bully. He's kind of a bully in his own way. He's got no fear whatsoever, like vandalizing somebody's car, or walking up to a woman and ambushing her at a gas station. Like,
yeah, if they were doing a Seven Deadly Sins thing, he's so wrath coded. Like,
yeah, you don't, yeah, you don't even need to like reference Me Too to like point out what's wrong with like a lot of the moves that he pulled there. Like, what is the matter with you, man? Like,
but he does have love in his heart, like sleeping in his kid's bed, and you know, like.
Well, and that's where like you wonder, like, is he addicted to like wrath? Is wrath his sin, or is he just addicted to like the trauma of like losing his son and like trying to like make it right?
Yeah. I think the contrast of him with Alex's dad being like, I love you, and talking to him and stuff was interesting. And really made Alex losing his dad like way sadder.
Oh yeah, him losing his whole family, like they just seem so like happy and nice. And then compare that to like Archer, where, you know, he's got that dream of his son, and is apologizing for not telling him he loves him more, you know?
Yeah.
I also thought that was an interesting bit that, like, granted, Archer just came out of, like, being zombified. So, like, some of this, like, might make that might explain some of this, but like the way he just follows the wreckage, like he doesn't care at all about the fact that he's been strangling Justine, is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
Justine.
We
Got
remembered it.
Got
40 minutes in.
Hopefully. I'll have to look it up later. No. But yeah, he doesn't care that at all that he's just been strangling Justine. He's just running off to find his son. And then like doesn't give a shit about any of the rest of those children, just identifies his son, grabs him and runs off with him.
Yeah.
Like, no, oh, there's a ripped apart old lady there. Never mind that. You come with me, boy.
Yeah.
Like, he was definitely a very fun character that like had a lot of interesting, you can see like the interesting bits where like you'd want him on your side, but also the bits where like he's an asshole. You can see the asshole there. I mean, even it is kind of interesting that like with his job, you know, where his I think it's his foreman is telling him like we got the wrong the labels didn't come in and all that, and he's not like trying to like pin it on anybody. He just like just taking ownership of his mistakes and everything. So like he'd be an interesting cat, and to be sure.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Archer, that was another thing that like even on the second watch, like I didn't get it. The giant
gun.
I don't know what kind of a gun it was. It looked like an M16 or some shit.
I don't know enough.
I couldn't tell, but it was clearly a giant gun in the sky like that. That I really didn't get.
When I do wonder what of Gladys, is she just like in the ethereal realm, like because she's showing up in people's nightmares and stuff who have never met her.
Yeah.
Like what is that?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it did make it seem a lot more like she was doing some other stuff. I think that was, since you mentioned that, I think that was something else that kind of bugged me about Gladys overall, that she clearly had a fear of like the authorities, and just, I don't know, the way she went about things and some of the things that she did. I wish I didn't see that mixed with like this attempt to obscure herself in all these ways. I do wish she had more of like, I don't know, more of a larger plot with like the town or something.
Yeah, and I still don't like I get the idea of she needs to live, so she's like trying to have people's energy force to stay alive. But I still feel like her motivation wasn't really clear. Like,
yeah,
it seems like there would have been easier ways and places to get that done.
Yeah. Well, and even like if that's the motive, surely she would have made other attempts to like snatch other people or bring other people around,
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily like know that it would have worked that way or what she could have done, but it seems like she would have had more going on with her if that was like her whole deal,
Yeah.
and been more of an affliction on the town and not just kind of Pied Pipering one class of children away,
Yeah.
And like surely she could have like had Alex steal things from other classrooms and everything too. He got put in a whole new class, so you'd think there'd be a follow-up that like,
and then he's the only surviving kid again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing where they the parallel I'm just like noticing now of when Alex's mom was making him clean his bedroom,
Oh yeah.
and then when they had to clean the house before the police arrived.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was funky. That was there's a lot of good, like there's a lot of really good stuff in there, but even that is like it's one of those things where when I think about it, it's like, man, these police are clearly like lobotomized or something in this movie because they didn't. I don't believe that, like, I have a hard time believing that what Alex had going on would have passed a basic inspection in the face of, like, we have a whole classroom of children, here's the one surviving one, and his parents are all of a sudden like disabled, and who is this lady? I'm sorry, we're gonna need to see like some
Yeah.
we're gonna need to see some ID from you or something. Like what in the hell is going on here?
And also like trying to go covert, which I think she was horrible at, putting the newspaper on all the windows and stuff. Like nothing makes your house look like there's shit going on
Yeah,
than covering up all the windows. You
so
know?
it's like a combination of we can't let them know what we're up to with I don't give a fuck about your mortal laws.
Yeah.
Like which is it, lady? Like, because I feel like if you can get ripped apart by children, you should care about some of them, which she clearly does. But then it's like, why this action here?
Also, did she? I don't feel like I really noticed on either watch. Did she look like she got better throughout the film, stealing people's life energy?
I couldn't quite tell. I guess like in the beginning she was kind of bedridden, and then in the beginning she was bedridden, and then when she like put Alex's parents under, she was. I think that's the first time we see her walking around.
Oh, to the thing of Alex's mom said it was her aunt, right?
Yeah.
And then she identifies as Alex's aunt.
Yeah.
And then
Alex's aunt, his mom's sister, elder sister.
And then also the mom was like, oh, we haven't seen her in 15 years. And then she says to Alex, I remember when you were a baby.
Yeah.
And so it's
He's
like...
clearly not 15.
And it makes me wonder what's even... Like, what was the mom's previous experience with her? Like, did she actually... Was she intertwined with his family in some other way?
Well, I have seen some theories, and I think it got confirmed that she's actually not related to them at all, because it's not clear like how she ends up showing up at all, or like who the fuck she is. Like there's enough inconsistencies there where it's like, is she related? like what's going on here? Like why doesn't anybody know who this lady is?
I did think the zombie ant documentary thing was so overdone with like Last of Us and stuff. Like
what?
Them having the principal and his husband were watching the documentary on like the fungus that takes over the ants' brains and stuff. I was just like, this is so cliche right now.
Yeah, I didn't, and I mean, I guess like Gladys is a parasite, so I've heard there are some allusions to like parasites going on there. I don't know. I wouldn't have quite got it in
also the teacher was teaching about parasites.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have quite picked up on like, parasites beyond the run of the mill, like, oh, somebody's like a thief or, stealing the life from other people. The allusion to parasites just didn't quite hit to me.
Yeah, there was a way where it was like a little too on the nose, and then with no follow through at the same time.
That was sort of my bit with like the weapon. Archer even has a line that really bugged me where he says it's like they were weaponized. Where I just thought like, even if that's a natural line, like you that's what you would expect to hear in real life. Given that this is a movie called Weapons, you should scrap that. Scrap that and change it, because this isn't real life. This is a movie, and that is a line that's too on the nose with your title, and it hurts my feelings to hear that line in there with this movie title.
I do think something with Barbarian is it really leaned full in and was like, this is a camp horror film.
Yeah.
You know? And Weapons, I think, could have been better if it went full camp or went full serious.
Yeah.
And it just, like, wasn't that great of either of those.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was a problem with... I don't think it's necessarily a problem with, like, camp or serious, or maybe like to the extent there's a problem with camp or serious, it's into like how the story was like put together. Like it has good pieces, but like some of the nuts and bolts of like how do these people all like fit together, and like what is this story about? Is it about like 17 children going missing, and this witch like being the source of the everybody's suffering, or is it about like everybody's slice of life addiction?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my take. I still feel disappointed because like I think it had a lot of excellent pieces to it that I just wish I would have seen utilized and put together better.
Maybe he was high the whole time he made it.
That'd be ironic.
I also thought it was interesting, the narration.
Oh yeah.
Which I didn't get the purpose of.
It didn't feel like it added anything to it. It made me just feel like, so we've got a narrator that kind of threw in some details, but it didn't really like address the things that I would have wanted to hear narration about.
Yeah. Well, also it's like some random kid. They're not like they don't seem connected to the story at all.
Yeah. Well, and I guess like they even talk about how like the cops covered it up because like they were embarrassed by it, but it's also like I guess like I heard that line and I wondered about it, and like I could see why the cops were embarrassed by it, but when I watched the movie, my first thought isn't really like, man, these cops are terrible. It's more like, oh, we're dealing with a witch here. Like most people wouldn't immediately jump to like, oh, most people normal people shouldn't jump to it's a witch doing all this.
Says nonsense to that.
It is funny that they kind of gave it away at the beginning when he paints witch on Christine's car.
I think they called her witch too in like the town hall.
So they actually
or
did
like the school assembly.
They did suspect a witch.
Yeah.
She
should have skipped
town. She was weird.
Who wasn't weird?
But like like you and I went through like her trying to get emotional support from a child.
Yeah.
Was weird.
Yeah. So that's where I really loved the way they made all the characters in this movie, because like she's not a good person, and you can see all the ways that like she has good qualities and she has like some very negative qualities, and like it's offhand she said she like gave a child a ride home because it wasn't a big deal, but at the same time when you see it play out in the movie and she's like stalking a fucking student, it's like, boy, lady, like I sure hope you're right, because if you're wrong, you're a bad person.
I do think there is like, it is sad, this idea that like teachers can't hug kids or Like, just that we live in a world where there has to be rules like that.
I didn't even realize that was like an enforceable rule these days, that
Yeah.
like teachers can't hug kids. So yeah, like that. And I mean, even teachers like driving children home, I can see why that's like, generally speaking, inappropriate. Like, you don't want that sort of interaction, but like yeah, I didn't realize that many like guardrails and boundaries had been thrown up around like teachers interacting with kids.
And when I was a kid, I know, 'cause I had a alcoholic mother.
What's that like?
I got rides home sometimes, like that. I 100% had that experience, and it was like a non-experience.
I mean, I didn't have an I did
Yes,
have
you
an
did.
I did have an alcoholic mother.
But
I still
different flavor.
I still have an alcoholic mother. But I also got rides home, not because she was an alcoholic, just because like sometimes I needed a ride home and somebody gave me a ride home.
Yeah.
So back in my day,
Back in the 90s.
the good old days. But so yeah, I didn't, on the one hand, I kind of, what did you just throw in?
A crumb. I didn't think it would bother you.
Right.
I didn't think it would bother you. I'm gonna eat your piece of toast. You didn't mukbang with me.
I did my best. I'm a slow eater. I chew my food.
What?
What else do we have to say about this movie? I think there is still a lot to say about it, because there's a lot going on with it. A lot of like good stuff, a lot of less good stuff. Like even with Justine, like I thought it was interesting how she like, sought out Paul, wanted to interact with Paul, and he just made like one hungover comment about his job, and she immediately like laid into him about like the missing kids. It's like,
Yeah.
what does this have to do with me? What do you think? Like every police officer in the force is just working on this one case? Like why am I getting shit for this?
Oh my god, when Paul's wife came into the liquor store and she was like at her.
Oh yeah,
like,
I saw her like following after her.
Yeah.
I got some major allusions to that.
Yeah. And then by the liquor store to be like, quit coming here.
yeah. Help me! that was good.
And James like asking for the bus ticket money in and out, like he has no perception of like.
Yeah. No perception of time, no perception of who is who or what's happening or anything. Just doggedly pursuing like what he wants as a.
Oh my god! One of the biggest like shock, horrible moments is him stabbing the cop in the face with the heroin needles.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god!
I know you and I were mixed on that. I don't condone Paul's actions, like any of them. We even agreed that like his driving for just one guy breaking into something, like this seems a little unnecessary and dangerous. And like I know police officers are trained to some degree, but like I don't know, bad stuff could still happen for this. Is it really worth it? I did empathize with him, like fucking decking James when he cut himself, like after asking multiple times, like there's nothing, please, really, I don't want to cut myself on anything in your pocket. I really don't, man. Okay. And then he cuts himself, like, what the fuck?
I do think there was like really some realism to the like, do you have AIDS? And James is like, I don't know.
Yeah, Paul just like, God damn it, I'm so, because like that was the other thing too that I feel like gets lost on like the paperwork bullshit. There's also just the reality of like I just fucking nicked my hand on a goddamn needle in some junkie's pocket. Who the fuck knows what's on that?
Yeah.
Like, god damn it.
But then he sleeps with Justine
Yeah, yeah.
without getting tested, so.
Well, and yeah, like that's where no real plan, just like I want to feel better.
Yeah.
I want to feel better, don't care if I get, fucking break my sober streak, lie to Justine about, still being married and, all of that jazz.
Yeah.
I will throw out, though, I mean, this isn't really an unfairness to Paul because he did clearly, like, lie about what was going on. I would throw out to Justine, like, in a conversation after that of, like, wait, so you knew he was with this lady. You probably should have known that, like, they were getting married or something, and he just shows up like this and just says, like, we're not happening, and you jump his bones.
She's in her reality she wants to.
Well, yeah, she's also trying to just feel better.
When also with, like, Bosley.
Chief Bosley.
The relationship of him being his wife's dad. There was something like he clearly did something wrong,
Right.
And I feel like as a police chief, the police chief, you want your son-in-law to succeed because it leads directly to your wife's success.
Right.
So he, like, even if he would usually discipline somebody, which we don't know, because
right.
we haven't seen any examples, but there's a way of, like, oh, do I want my son-in-law to go to, to, like, lose his career or something? Like,
well, and I think that's an interesting dynamic because, like, it wouldn't be that hard for me to imagine a police chief, and I haven't interacted with many police chiefs. It wouldn't be that hard for me to imagine a police chief being willing to, like, let it go, given that he came clean about what happened, talked about what happened, and, like, balancing, like, all right, you got your hand nicked, so, like, I could see where that's a problem and that's upsetting, like, and also the reality that, like, James is not the sort of person that, like, he's not a law-abiding citizen or a stand-up citizen. Doesn't make any of it right. Just, like, weighing all of that together and, like, okay, I'm not going to go out of my way to find this, because he still said, like, if James comes and makes a complaint, there ain't nothing anybody's going to do for you. You're fucked at that point. Like, I'm not gonna move my weight around to squish that way. Like, that's just not gonna happen. So, like, it's still within a realm of, like, I could see him overlooking that, but then as soon as you can tell that he knows that Paul fucked Justine, like, that now he may go out of his way for disciplinary action because, like, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh my god, when Paul and James are outside the house and Paul's gonna go in to check on the missing kids, and James is like, how do I know you're not gonna steal the money?
God. That moment Paul has, there were so few things I could relate to Paul on, but, like, that moment there that he has when he just, like, like, what are you?
Oh, and that reminds me of another thought I expressed to you during the movie that I think we kind of disagreed on, is that I was, like, on the helpline having, like, I'm just going to use the word crackhead, even though I don't think that was his drug of choice.
I don't know what his drug of choice was.
But
heroin?
When he was calling, I think so. When he was calling the helpline, like, that I found the kids sounding, drugged up.
Right.
I had this thought. I was like, oh, I bet, addicts and people living on the street do see, like, a lot more reportable crime and might actually be the witnesses most likely to see something.
Right.
But then they're not taken seriously because they can't talk normal. But like, they are the most likely to witness, to like come upon crime because they're involved in crime.
And, you know, I could see some potential in that, you know. Like there have been other movies where like the only witnesses that like there have been other movies where like mob movies where they're like trying to hold the mob accountable and the only witnesses they have are disreputable people because like those are the only people that associate with them, right?
Yeah.
So like I could kind of buy that, but at the same time, like I also just feel like I feel like in general you're equally likely to like just get a lot of nonsense from that segment as well, because they're also the people that I think are most likely to fuck it. I got nothing to lose. I'm just gonna call this hotline and try and get the money and make up a story. Like I think you're just as likely to get a lot of bad information. And even if they did see something, like James being the way he is, like I have a hard time imagining like him being able to give like a good, solid, coherent story that like I could understand and like process and be able to do something with.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, another thing is the way the movie segmented into like perspectives.
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like they did enough with it. And then there was a random part in the movie where it just ended, where like now it's from everybody's perspective without any acknowledgement. Like it felt, and again, like this like idea and format that then by the end of the movie they're just like,
well, not only that, I actually don't feel like they did enough with like the stories and perspectives outside of just giving different characters like their breathing room to develop in their own way on their own. So I kind of thinking about it, I kind of liked it for that, but also like titling it Justine or Archer or James or whatever. I don't know what it really like, what that bit really contributed to anything other than just kind of, just dragging things out or making me think that there was going to be like some kind of way in which they all tie together that they didn't.
yeah. And
like James had nothing to do with Justine, really.
And so that's another thing with for me personally, with the narrator, is usually when someone's narrating, I expect them to like know the story. It's a little kid, and a little kid wouldn't know the parts about James.
How'd you know about the parts you weren't there for?
Like, even if a little kid is like, I know this story of my town, it doesn't involve Paul seeing James try to break into a window. Like,
yeah.
What? The chapter thing and the narration thing, to me, it's just like they felt like weird tools that weren't utilized correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in conclusion, I think overall, like, I think it was a good movie with a lot of good pieces, a lot of great characters set up. I think it just needed a little more time to like, I think they should have baked this one for a little bit to tie it all together and build it out a little bit more.
And I'm still really excited for Krager's future work. For sure.
I'll watch the Gladys prequel.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a double feature. What if Gladys makes weapons extra good?
Maybe.
Like, there's a chance.
I might just like Gladys more than I like weapons.
Yeah.
There better be a floating fucking rose bush in the Gladys prequel, though.
We almost watched Long Legs because got some comments that the Gladys part was just like long legsy.
Yeah.
But
I heard that.
We decided not to for now.
And see, like We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes.
You're right.
Like,
We didn't need a second movie tie-in. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about weapons or our thoughts or addiction
or anything.
or what you think we should watch next.
What we should eat next.
What we should beat next.
What we should seat next. Goodbye. How do I turn this off?
Subscribe. And stream.
Where's the end stream button?
What? You hovered over it already.